When I set myself up for squatting every 3 days, it doesn't really um, become a fact. The thought of form, the thought of my the path of the bar going down, it being straight, it being you know strict. My back not leaning over too much when I'm doing actual sets compared to warm up. Like you can see here, the warm up, I'm bending down with my back more to warm it up just in case it needs to be engaged. Um, all these things, foot placement, shoulders, um, all of it doesn't come to mind uh, feeling out the muscle. But today I decided to try and really think more about exactly what I was doing in terms of everything, in terms of stance, in terms of tightness, in terms of um, stretching my quads, going as deep as I could. And I felt really, really strong. And I don't know if that was because I was thinking more about exactly what I was doing. Because usually what'll happen is the moment I get under the bar, most of that stuff goes out the window. I just do what I feel is natural. I do what I feel uh, feels good, in a sense. And that usually gives me results. I've been at least maintaining the weight that I do throughout these months of training, throughout this consistent 200 and I want to say 203 days. Um, but I guess when you've been doing it for that long, it does come naturally to you. But then there's a thought of how much variation can I do to uh, increase my results? Because if you do the exact same stance, if you think about the exact same things and forget about other things, you might not be as rounded as some other athletes. I'm not calling myself an athlete in the slightest, but what I am saying is that you have these characteristics when you're squatting. You have these different variables: lower back strength, ankle mobility, hip mobility, all these things on the side of leg strength, your stability as well with your core. All these things have a part to play when it comes to squatting. So you could say, oh yeah, I have really strong legs, hence I can squat a lot. But yeah, you could have strong legs, but if you also have things like I just mentioned, you could be squatting an extra 10, 15 kilos on top of that. And that's why I think it's important. That's why I think it's important to be rounded as someone who works out, as someone who wants to improve in the gym, or let alone anything else for that matter. You could be really good at conducting an experiment in the lab and know the main steps of the procedure inside out. But if there's a small hiccup where you didn't wash your cells the proper way, if you didn't, you know, collect every single piece of lysate, which alters your quantity of cells, etc., etc., you could mess up the entire thing. And your results won't be as good as you thought they would be, considering you know all the major steps. So it's small things like that, small details that I was thinking about today more often. I was thinking about them more compared to other days. And I want to go slowly with the 100. I want to go a bit more strict. The past week, I've been thinking more about strictness. I've been thinking more about not moving the weight, but just thinking of its path, thinking of going straight down with the bar and straight up, and engaging the correct muscles. Um, yeah, it's been good. I still have the energy in the gym. I still have um, what I think is a result of eating more. What I think is a result of being less stressed compared to my first weeks of work. Knowing what I'm doing at work, it's enhanced knowing what I'm doing in the gym, having that energy, and just pushing through, um, and going again and again and again. Right, that discipline. I'm not even. I'm motivated to a degree. Of course, I'm the motivated. I want to do this. I love the gym and everything. But there's a lot of days where you don't love the gym. There's days where you hate the gym, where it's the last thing you want to do. But it's that idea of uh, discipline, mental discipline, and just doing it anyway, regardless of how you feel. Like you don't care, you don't let that emotion take over you and control you. Because if you let that happen, then you'll just, you know, do whatever you want. But if you do what needs to be done, what you think is right in order to prepare yourself for the future, when hardship comes around, then you'll be prepared. You'll be more prepared. So these mental challenges I have in the gym where I have to go anyway, they're going to prepare me for when I don't want to go to the lab, but I have to go anyway. When I don't want to run to the grocery shop and buy my things, but I have to anyway, or else I'll starve. I'll get hungry. Things like that, they prepare you for other things completely, entirely, and I think it's important. I think it's a good work ethic, something that needs to be learned over time. Takes years, and that's something that I'm trying to learn right now. Um, but yeah, overall, it was a good session. Um, a session that I think I learned a bit from, and I'll continue to learn throughout this thing. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.